Some small businesses can't afford a directory listing, but they have skills and they have talent. Their talent matches the hard work and the know-how. Their workplace can be from the kitchen or a van. The business might be set up in a home or a garage. You don't find these providers listed in a book directory, but you can find them on eqicaribbean.com, the online tool you'll need to search for products and services. Because as long as you are searching, we will be here to list them.
Yes, and here we are, 14th session. First, before we get into our weekly analysis of the NBA, I want to say Happy Independence and Republic Day to everyone in Barbados, including the two Avengers. And here we go. First, we will go to Avenger number 1, Teron King. What's happening in the East there, Teron?
Well, as usual, we're going to check in on Ben Simmons first. No real news in terms of an update. The only thing that I kind of paid attention to recently is I think the fact that Tyrese Maxey is playing very well is actually impacting their decision to basically keep him at a standstill. Other than that, the only thing that's happened with Ben Simmons is the fact that his name is popping up on literally every single trade machine there is from every analyst, every website, which is natural. Everyone knows he's gonna
don't you think that Maury is asking for a little bit too much for Ben Simmons?
Yes. Yeah, I think he's actually playing hardball with the whole that, and especially with all the fines and stuff. I mean, those things are gonna happen automatically, but I honestly feel he just wants him to start out playing. I don't think he wants him to leave, and I think that they're gonna ultimately the NBPA is gonna have to step in and deal with this because the Players Association has to handle something. This is getting a bit too out of hand. They say it's playing on his mental. He's going broke. I don't know how he can go broke that quick, that much money, but hey, his spending habits are money spending habits.
All right, okay. What else you have first?
Well, I have the player of the week for sure. That has to be Trae Young this week. He's been on an absolute tear of late. I don't know what got into him. It's crazy because I actually personally don't really like Trae Young, but I have to give Jack Trae Young and think out of his mind of late. The Hawks do not affect me whatsoever. I like John Collins a lot, but I don't really like that team. So this is a really big thing. This is a really big pat on the back for Trae Young, saying that he's been playing well. You know, the team of the week, however, actually the team of the last couple of weeks for me has been the Bucks. The Bucks are a 7-game win, and of course the other win streak out west is kind of dwarfing that at the moment. But still, that win streak in the East, I think I credit it to as our in-house fantasy. Like I said last week, I think it's just that they're getting healthy and they're catching themselves, but they still aren't fully healthy, which is the scary part. And they're on a 7-game win streak, so we'll see. To me, if you ask me, the Bucks are probably the best team in the East at the moment, on paper and when fully healthy. So I expect they'll be out there those popped up as other people lose games and they continue to win.
Yes, and something I want to ask you about the Avenger number 1. I saw a tweet from Woj, and usually when Woj send out a tweet is like gospel. So I saw a tweet from Woj saying that Thibodeau has decided that Kemba Walker is out of the rotation. He did not say out of the starting rotation. He said out of the rotation. And that is big news.
That kind of shocked me, to be honest.
Honestly, I think it's just a situation where the fit didn't work with that coach. Thibodeau is a defensive-minded coach. Kemba is a terrible defender. He has been for a while. Like, he tries. It's not for lack of effort like James Harden, but he literally just, he can't. He's too small. He's not a good defender. And then he's in a little offensive stuff too. So what is he really giving you? And we know how Tom Thibodeau feels about Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is on that team. Derrick Rose is performing. And then you still have the youngster, Mayo quickly there to bring up as well. So you have 3 guards. One of them isn't really playing up to scratch. Derrick Rose is going to come back. I think Kemba is going to be traded ultimately.
Oh, that would be sad news for people like Derrick Rose and
I think he's
something
from New York.
Smith.
From New York too.
Yeah. Something also on the Kemba Walker. I saw another follow-up saying that it's hard to play 3 small guards in a rotation like that. So seeing as they're on, and like Kemba's the only person with the advanced stats that has a negative plus minus. Everybody else got positive. So I mean.
Okay, yeah, but when they bought him, he was that they knew they would have 3 small guards. So I'm not mad at that.
I just saying what they say.
We have to sell that one to somebody else. I mean, we are bad that one.
Hold on. Maybe, just maybe, this is New York's pitch for Ben Simmons. Because Ben Simmons will walk in there and make that team a top 3 Eastern Conference team.
I'm not trading Ben Simmons for no Kemba Walker.
That's pretty crazy. Imagine throwing Ben Simmons into New York's defensive system. Oh my word.
Yeah, I can't see him over there based on what Murray's asking for Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I ain't trading no Ben Simmons for no Kemba Walker. Sorry.
Anyway, we've now exhausted the East, and as before we go though, we have to say that the Brooklyn Nets are now on top of the East, and the Chicago Bulls is second, and Heat is third.
Real quick, Demarcus Cousins signed with the Bucks. So
he's a player that I really, I have a lot of sympathy for. His injuries and just the NBA just went to a different direction, and then he was, he became he went from a franchise player to a scrub in the wake up play. Yes, but now we are here with Avenger number 2. Kelan, we missed you last week. Not that we missed your great announcement, we just miss you. So right now, what is happening in the West that we can have some words with?
Well, right now, I always like to do a trending up and trending down every week. Trending up right now are the Warriors. They're on a 7-game winning streak. The Suns, who, as Teron said earlier, are on a amazing winning streak, 16-game winning streak. After starting out 1-3,
yes,
they immediately went 16 in a row. And then
I thought that next year would be interesting, and that was actually a very huge disappointment.
Very much so. And then the Rockets. Yes, I said the Rockets are on a 3-game winning streak. Who would have thought? Yeah, exactly.
On a 3-game winning streak and still last though is still last.
I don't think they should be winning.
Yes, they are trending up. I don't know trending up about whom, but they're trending up.
Yeah, and on the Rockets for a quick second, unfortunately, Steven Silas, who me and Teron met, all of us actually met at the jump start thing. He having it's a tough situation because I mean, like when he got there, it was supposed to be James Harden and Westbrook, and then he's left with Jaylen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. This is a big drop off. No disrespect to those guys.
Watching.
Oh, and y'all watching. So it's a tough situation, but hopefully they don't get rid of him and they understand the situation. Trending down, we have the Thunder, who are on a 6-game losing streak, and the Trailblazers, who are on a 3-game losing streak after it seemed that they had evened out a little bit. So that was my trending up and trending down for the West. I want to talk about a rookie this year. Now, unlike the East, 4 out of the top 10 rookies went to the West. So the majority went to the East, and only 1 out of the top 5 went to the West. Most of the best rookies right now are on the East side. But if I had to pick a rookie, even though he's been inefficient, Jaylen Green so far, he has kind of like the best stats, like normal stats. He averaging 14.5 points per game. He's been out a little bit now because he had an injury. 3 rebounds and 2.5 assists. As I said, the efficiency isn't really that great, only shooting 38% from the field, but he's a rookie, so that's growing pains. And on a team where he is one of the main focal points, then I can understand the struggles. But for some second-year players that have been doing well, I want to give a honorable mention to somebody on my team, Devin Vassell. He was only averaging 5 points last year, but now he's averaging Devin Vassell. Yeah.
I thought it was Vassell.
Nah. He's averaging 12.5 points per game on 40% shooting from 3 and 47% from the field. So his stats are going up and he's getting more playing time now. So, but the main person I want to talk about that I talked to elite from first year to second year is Anthony Edwards. Now, the initial stats may not seem that great of elite. Like, it's only from 19.3 to 22.5, but you can just see how he's playing this year. The eye test is telling you he looks so much more income. He looks so much better this year. But also the reason why I don't think his stats are taking like a supernova lead is because Cat is now coming back too. So obviously Cat has to get a share of the points. So yeah, and it's still below, but he's averaging 22.5 points per game, 6 rebounds, 43% shooting, and 36% from 3. So he's one of those guys that I think could challenge for scoring titles in the future. I think he has like that skill set. He's a scorer. So those are my rookies and my sophomores that I think are doing well in the West so far.
Yeah, I would also endorse Andy Edwards. I saw the dunk that was the foul.
Good charge.
That referee had he was like a real dude. Because there's no way that I was calling a foul on that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I
probably would have got stopped with the whistle. My eyes were forward. So yes, I would endorse Andy Edwards. But of course, every segment we have in our yes.
My play of the week quick because I want to do my play of the week quick. Naturally, the team of the week. I mean, the Suns. I mean, come on, you've been 16 games in a row. I mean, like come on. CP3 is still leading the league in assists at the ripe age of 85. Now I'm just kidding, about 30, 36 or 37. But the player of the week, Devin Booker. Devin Booker started a little slower. I think he was one of the players that were affected with the slight rule change, but he has adjusted.
He also had COVID, didn't he?
I think to start the year, I think during the preseason and stuff, I think he had something like that. Yeah. But no, he's averaging 24 points per game for rebounds. But for the week, makes you Suns went for he averaged 30 points per game. He has 3 30-point games. 50% from the field, 56% from 3, 14 threes. So, including 2 victories against the same Knicks that we talked about and the Nets, which were both kind of wash off, even though the Nets score look a little.
I think the game was over.
The game was over, but like the third second part. Exactly. So the Suns made a mess of the New York teams, unfortunately, for all New York fans out there. But as the team of the week, I think there's a huge gap between the top 3 West teams, like the Warriors, Suns, and the Jazz, compared to everybody else. Like right now,
Jazz really are good.
The Jazz are 14-7. Which is one of the better records.
I would not say that. What I would say is that I think there's a drop off between the Warriors and the Suns.
Well, and then the Jazz, and I think it'd be Warriors, drop off Jazz, drop off everybody else.
Okay, because I think right now the Warriors or the Suns are the best team.
Yeah,
right at this present, we don't know what's going to happen going forward. Because injuries play a part, and other teams get better. But right now, we know that I am saying that the Phoenix Suns and the Warriors seem to be the top teams.
I think the Suns and the Warriors have to play soon as well. So.
After they play this evening. Okay, so Tuesday, we go to our pick 5 segment. Our pick 5 segment on Tuesday. Guess what? Golden State Warriors at Phoenix. Golden State Warriors at Phoenix.
Not a cut. Wait. Don't we normally see what happened the week before and pick them?
Yes, we do. But this week I decide that I will you know, on pick 5, we will just go to see what happened, see what's going to happen, and then we are going to pick, you know, what happened, because I don't think that you really want to know what happened.
Yeah.
So, Phoenix, Golden State at Phoenix.
I'm going Golden State all day, every day.
Golden State for Teron.
Yeah, I gotta go with the late skin crew. So
okay,
Steph Curry.
So
Steph Curry.
All of us with the Warriors on that one. I hope that you all are not disappointed. On Wednesday, Philly at Boston. Embiid is back, and
Philly.
Boston is there. So tell me who you go.
Philly. I'm going Philly.
Okay, so
Boston's better of late, but once Embiid's playing, I'm going Philly, because their biggest weakness right now is big. Yeah. He is not great.
Even the thing is, right? The only reason I may go Celtics is because for the last couple of years, the Celtics have played Philly really, really well. Like they, for some reason, even with Embiid, whatever, they always kind of match up with them pretty well. So I feel like you can go with the Celtics.
So you go with Celtics. So Kelan is going with Celtics. I go with Teron because I think that Philly will win that game. OKC at Memphis. Remember that Ja Morant is still injured. So OKC at Memphis. Who you got? Let's go with you first, Kelan.
Even though you're hurt, I still gonna go with Memphis. So still think they have enough.
Yeah, I'm going with Memphis. And what about you, Teron?
I've actually never seen Memphis play without Ja ever. But I know they're really relying on him. But this oh wait, no, they don't. They traded for Simmons. I actually don't know. I'm gonna go with Memphis too. I think they're just
Memphis. Okay, so everyone is going to Memphis. But I'll go with OKC that everybody seem not to really care about.
You're on a second losing streak, so
yeah. On Friday is Miami at Indiana. Now this should be an interesting matchup.
Yeah.
Miami at Indiana. Well, I don't have to ask Teron who you going with.
Teron, is Jimmy playing? Let me know now.
That's the thing. I think Tyler and Jimmy, my 1 and 2 leading scorers, are both out at the moment. So I don't know if they're going to be good to go by then. I'm still picking Miami.
I mean, duh. I mean, duh.
That was going to happen, though. So I had you already personally. What about you,
hey, I would say this is the time to get a free dub. If they don't play, you know what I mean? Yeah, Pillow real good.
Man.
And they're the first this year, too.
That's a tough one.
So, I really go with Miami because I'm just a Miami guy.
You go with Indiana. Just to butt the train.
On Saturday, just to have them in the pick 5 categories, I have Clippers versus Sacramento at Sacramento. And the looks on those faces tell me Sacramento.
You could have had Clippers and Lakers. You could have had. I know that matchup is Friday. And you want to pick Sacramento.
You have to give Sacramento some love, my brother.
But we're not. We're not giving them any love. That's the thing. We're not giving them any love.
Actually, they are 11th in the East. I mean, in the West. Sorry, they're 11th in the West. So we have to give them some love. So where you going with, Teron?
If Sacramento wins that game, you can call me Alpha for the rest of the year. With everyone healthy. I'm going Clippers all day, every day. That's this. Come on.
I'm going Clippers as well. Okay. But I kind of want the Kings win, so we could call you Alpha.
I am going with Sacramento. And the only reason I'm going to Sacramento is because I'm really dissing the Sacramento Kings. I mean, they're a basketball team too.
As a Laker fan, I mean, I think you would, as you know, Shaq called them the Sacramento Queens. So I think you will.
I will go with Sacramento. And that is pick 5 for next week. But I must tell you what happened last week. Last week you were not here, Avenger number 2. And Alan Pinder, our resident, scout, the Bajan Scout, he picked for you really. And he didn't do a bad job. But I had 4 or 5 last week, and both of y'all had 3 or 5 last week. So it was a bad week all around. This, we called some games that went the other way. So now here on court in session, do we still need a court in session? No, is the Republic, or should we really change our name to something else?
I have no idea.
Let me stay with court in session. And right now, court in session is adjourned.
Happy Independence.
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. On this Republic Day, Independence Day, we are here with the Bajan Scout. The Bajan Scout, Alan Pinder. He's here with some fantasy picks. What do you have for us, Alan?
Hey, Terry. Well, the top of the leaderboard, the 2 big guys are all with injury, Jokic and Embiid, and they both returned in ripping form. After being out, I guess it was a little concern with Embiid, particularly since he had COVID, that he may have to be on a minutes restriction, but he came back, he played in the overtime game and was excellent. So if you have both those days, you can roster them without any issues. Also, at the top of the leaderboard, you have people who have James Harden. They'll be glad to see he's definitely rolling back into form recently.
Yes.
Yeah, over the last couple of weeks, seems to be back to his old self. Unfortunately, Dame isn't quite there yet. It seemed like he was rolling into form, but the last couple of games he's been under 20 points, I believe. So, if you still need to hold on Dame, I guess you could probably start looking at trade offers potentially, but in the hopes that he turns it around. But yeah, it's a little disappointing that 20 games and he still isn't quite at that elite form as yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, small thing with Porzingis, he came back from injury, and he came back from injury. He was playing extremely well. Well, unfortunately, I think he has another ankle injury. I think they were a little afraid of maybe something more serious, but he seems to have gone down again. But I actually got a trade offer for Porzingis for Scotty Barnes a few weeks ago when he was coming back from injury. Unfortunately, couldn't quite accommodate the trade because of although I probably should have at that point because they had too many centers. But yeah, if anyone is potentially looking to trade for Porzingis, AC have an idea that he's probably will come out pretty good from his injury going forward.
All right. There's the situation in New York because Wars did posted a tweet about Tom Thibodeau not having Kemba in the rotation. He did not say in the starting rotation, he just said in the rotation. So how about him?
Yeah, that's a tough situation because I actually thought Kemba was going to have a big season this year, coming back home to New York. But unfortunately, it hasn't worked out that way. He's been okay offensively, but Tibbs is a defensive coach, and he's decided that he's not getting what he wants defensively out of Kemba. He wants C-line to switch a little bit more and to be a little bit more versatile where that's concerned. So Kemba being a small guard, it's not really going to work with the switching defense with him. So we thought he may have dropped him to the bench, but it seems he likes Derrick Rose and quickly with that bench unit. So he doesn't say he's going to drop him out of the rotation entirely. So tough for Kemba owners. I think you probably have to drop him at this point. The good news is that his replacement, Albert, seems to be available in most leagues. So Albert probably is a good idea to see if you can pick him up if you're desperate and looking for someone to replace Kemba Walker at this stage.
Okay, so any other picks you have first? Because right now I'm struggling in the middle of the table and I'm looking for any little hint of a pick. Anything that I could pick up?
Well, you can probably look at a similar situation that's happening in Brooklyn. Blake Griffin, he was really good in playoffs last year, but he's been very bad early on this season. But LaMarcus Aldridge, he's been very good early on, particularly since he retired last year. He came back. A lot of people, I guess, weren't sure how effective he will be, but he's been more effective than Blake, and I think he's starting out ahead of Blake for Brooklyn. So he seems to be widely available as well. So you can see if you could pick up LaMarcus Aldridge and see what happens there. I see Desmond Bane is also available in most leagues as well. He's been performing pretty well, even though Dillon Brooks has come back for the Grizzlies. So those are a couple of guys you can look to pick up.
Okay, so those are the picks from the Bajan Scout, Alan Pinder, the man on fantasy. Well, we'll speak to you next week, right?
Sounds good.